Hello, dear students. My name is Saman, and I will be your English teacher for today. We will start with grade 11 textbook, lesson 1, our responsibilities. I will start with activity 1. This is meant for you to act out, preferably between two friends, but I will read it out to help you better. Vikum and Chamindu meet each other in the bus on their way to school. Says Vikum, "Good morning, Chamindu. The bus is crowded today. Give me your school bag, or would you rather sit here?" Says Chamindu, "Good morning. Thank you, Vikum. It's not far. Just keep my bag." Says Vikum, "Sure. By the way, did you manage to find facts for the debate next week?" Chamindu says, "Yes, I plan to visit the local library too." Says Vikum, "We've got to propose the idea discipline cannot be achieved only through laws." Says Chamindu, "Yes, I read some articles about it. My sister also downloaded some articles from the internet. It's quite an interesting topic, isn't it?" Says Vikum, "Of course. My mother says it's a timely topic that all school children should be made aware of." Says Chamindu, "I think so too. Discipline cannot be imposed only through laws." Says Vikum, "It will be an interesting debate." Says Chamindu, "There's an article on vandalism too in my sister's collection of articles." Vikum says, "What's that? I've never heard that word before. Can you please repeat the word?" Says Chamindu, "Vandalism. Let's read my sister's articles and discuss more at school." So says Vikum, "Oh, here comes a pregnant mother. I'll offer my seat to her." So that ends the activity 1. It's best you practice this if you're alone, at least reading out loud, or try to practice with a friend, even through online sources. Let's go to activity 2. Identify the following punctuation marks in the dialogue between Vikum and Chamindu. Copy one sentence as an example for each into your writing book. So the punctuation marks you should watch out for: full stop, question mark, apostrophe used in contractions, apostrophe used to show possession, inverted commas, comma, exclamation mark. So go back to the dialogue and try to identify what these are. I'm sure you all know a lot about these punctuation marks, but just to remind. So exclamation mark is something like this here. Of course, question mark is here, and then you need to distinguish between the comma when it's in different contexts, as asked here, in contractions or to show possession. That's for the comma, and then apostrophe, which is like here, for instance, as contraction, or as a possession, like here. So that's the difference. And inverted commas, for instance, to say when you are citing somebody else, it's not who you say it. So for instance here, or a famous quote, an idiom, these kind of things are shown in double quotations or inverted commas. And exclamation mark we already covered. So we move on to activity 3 now. Hope you see my screen still. So Chamindu visited the library and needed the help of the librarian to find information for the debate. Write the conversation he had with the librarian using the appropriate punctuation marks. Enact it in the class. Here again, try to enact it with a friend of yours, which makes it more fun. Start like this. Librarian, good afternoon. Can I help you? So you need to fill what Chaminda will respond in turn. And this should represent the action that is given in the brackets. So he greets and tells what he wants. And again, the question from the librarian afterwards that should entail asks for the topic of the debate. And then fill the blanks to where Chaminda explains gives the topic, and so forth. So the next blank is the response from the librarian, where he or she expresses his ability, it's a he, expresses his ability to help and asks whether he needs to borrow books. And then the next blank is for Chaminda's response in return, expresses his thanks and says he wants to borrow books. And the librarian describes where the books are. The Chaminda says he will go and find them. The next librarian asks whether he needs any other help. And then Chaminda ends the conversation with says no and thanks the librarian. So here, remember, this is a conversation that you should fill the blanks with. These are only supportive information to guide you what kind of information is in the conversation by each person. And so you need to think of the right terms, right tense, and right punctuation marks as well. So we move on to activity 4, that is reading and writing. This is the article Chaminda's sister found on vandalism. Read it and do the activities that follow. So here you see vandalism that is also shown with how it's pronounced. If you want to check even more accurate pronunciation, I can suggest you to listen to native speakers talking about vandalism on the online sources, or even Google Translate. You can check how that's pronounced. Remember to choose British English or some native English that you follow. Okay, let's go through the article from Chaminda's sister. Vandalism is an offense that is caused when a person deliberately destroys, alters, or defaces someone else's property without permission. It is mostly aimed at public property such as public transport services, bus stops, parks, road signs, and other public places. It can also occur at individual level too, such as scratching someone's car or distorting the information on a person's website. Among many reasons, personal attitudes and basic social problems are at the root of vandalism. It may occur because of a lack of meaningful activities, disciplinary problems, and negative feelings such as revenge, boredom, anger, and frustration. It can be the result of peer group pressure, playfulness, curiosity, and pleasure too. Although most vandals do not have a clear motive for their acts and may consider it as a simple act of fun or art. However, it is a punishable crime with imprisonment, monetary fines, or both, as laws exist in a country to prevent vandalism. Certain effects of vandalism are considered insignificant, while others are considered extremely severe. However, it is a problem that affects everyone in some way or other. It can affect one's family, friends, and the community. When facilities such as public transport services, parks, and public restrooms are vandalized, it makes using such places unpleasant and demoralizing. As a result of vandalism, fire and emergency services are affected by increased workloads. Citizens of a country pay their taxes in order to build a better community for the future generation. But when public property is vandalized, they are the ones who have to pay for the damage. There are different approaches that can be taken to prevent vandalism. It can be done by educating individuals, especially the young people, about its consequences and nature. Another way to prevent vandalism is to use property designs such as ceramic tiles on walls, which are easy to clean. In addition, rough textured surfaces where scrolling with graffiti is impossible reduce vandalistic behavior in public places. An essential approach to reducing vandalism is to monitor the condition of a property regularly. Studies reveal that vandalism carried out by individuals of all ages increases when people think they are left out from the society or community. Thus, involvement in community activities can encourage a sense of belonging and pride, which will help them to respect and think positively about their community. Everyone should understand the duties and responsibilities of a citizen and decide what is right and what is wrong. Therefore, in preventing vandalism, self-discipline plays a bigger role than laws. So, I encourage you to check and learn the new words that you do not understand. Vandalism for one. And you see, this is about how people destroy or deface, as it said, or alter public property. You see, for instance, like graffiti, as you see on this wall that this guy is already drawing something as well. And again, you see, this is another type of vandalism where you deface an important road sign. And this is another dangerous alteration of a road sign that would cause adverse, severe consequences. So related activities concerning vandalism article. In column A, there are some actions related to vandalism. Match them with the meanings in column B. Destroy, alter, deface, distort. You see, all those 4 words are share rather similar meanings, but they also come with a specific meaning that distinguishes each other. So try to find out which of these in A are matched best, which of these in B with. And then number 2 is to indicate whether the following sentences are true or false. So you can refer to the article in the previous page, back and forth if you have doubts. Try to find if it's true or false as much as to the best of your ability. And number 8, vandalism can occur both at personal and public levels. Number B, letter B, vandals always have a clear reason for their vandalistic behavior. Then third, vandalism has negative effects on the whole community. D, educating people about negative effects of vandalism is a good way to prevent it. E, laws of a country play the most important role in preventing vandalism. So, as I mentioned, go back to the article and see if you can find the answers if you don't know it already. And if something is unclear, always try to read it several times to see what it is really meant and then relate to the article that it refers to find the correct answer. And the third activity within this main activity Write answers to the following questions. What is vandalism? Give 2 reasons for vandalism. How is vandalism punished? Write down 2 effects of vandalism on people living in a community. List down 2 ways that can be used to prevent vandalism. Copy the sentence which says that vandalism can be prevented by making the young people aware of it. What do the following pronouns underlined in the passage refer to? It in paragraph 1 and they in paragraph 3. Just to double check and to show you where this it in paragraph 1 and they in paragraph 3 are at. So you see it's here. So you should state what this it refers to in this sentence. As a general guideline, usually this type of a use of it brings attention to the previous sentence where the it is defined. And then in 3rd paragraph, this is first, then we have the 2nd, and then 3rd. And here you see they is the one that's referring to. And then again, most possibly the they that is referring to in this sentence is defined at the previous sentence, very likely. But this is the guideline, but you need to find out and explain what they refer to. And the 4th sub-activity here, list out the acts of vandalism that can occur in your school. For example, scrawling graffiti on school textbooks. Number 2, work in small groups. Suggest ways to prevent vandalism at school level. The 5th activity in lesson 1 is writing. Involvement in community activities can encourage a sense of belonging and pride, which will help people to respect and think positively about their community. Imagine you are the secretary of the youth society of your village or town, and you are going to organize a community activity for the local residents. Write a notice informing the public about the activity and requesting their help. For example, clearing the mosquito breeding grounds in the area, especially with dengue on the rise again, very timely topic. Clearing the children's ward in the local hospital, also another activity with quite a lot of value to the community. Now we can move on to vocabulary. Note how the following words are formed using suffixes. So the noun is vandal, and then vandalism is also a noun which defines the act of a vandal in the noun, and vandalize is the act of vandalism. How a vandal will vandalize, and then the adjective is vandalistic. Defining it's different ways of defining this act, but then depending on where you use and how you want to explain, you should use the correct form. Now we move to the revision point about prefixes and suffixes. So adding a prefix to the base is like vandal in this case. And you add a prefix means it comes after the base. It comes before the base. So a prefix comes before the base.